almost heaven. West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River.
Yo, it's Saturday. We're here.
What's up?
We are.
Saturday.
Guess what, guys?
What's up?
Tuesday, my youngest graduates high school. I'm done. Welcome.
Get him out of there.
Go get.
He doesn't turn 18 for a while yet, but like he'll be Tuesday. He graduates. That's my youngest. So like that's it.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm 42 years old, and that's it. Hell yeah. This is why you have kids early. Get it. All right, let's see the chat's going on. I want to read this from Michael. He says, "Hail hillbillies. My mama from coal country, that's where I'm from, taught us hillbilly is an old Irish compliment. Billy is a real man, is a man. It's like a tough guy, like a in the mountain we would call a Billy a good old boy. So like a real man. A hillbilly is a tough mountain man. Don't mess with him. This is all true. So there you go. What's up, Michael? Astro Zombies in the house. Citizen Ronan is in the house. I saw him over where Shane fooled me, thinking it was a live stream and it was a video. That butthead.
I was fooled too. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh wow, a stream that I was actually early enough for, but nope.
No. Jeremy's in the house. Past Master Dan was over at the fake stream too. Eric Weathers is probably going to listen to us while he's doing some Battle Brick Road fulfillment. So
I think
what's
he's
up,
calling
Eric?
you a name there.
Hellet?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think he's probably on his phone and he mistyped because he's fulfilling books. Our man, Eddie Winkler, is in the house. What is up, Eddie? Past Master Dan. I was born with one leg longer than the other for walking on. Hillbilly is a Leroi. I did put out a tweet because there was we were screwing around in Shane's chat for his fake live stream, and we were talking about. I told everybody that he was at the flea market shopping for a fridge for his back porch, and somebody's like, "Well, that's to go with the couch." But like in West Virginia, on a good Saturday when we win, we used to burn couches. Like it's illegal on a Saturday in Morgantown, West Virginia, to have a couch on your front porch. It's illegal.
Is that what the burned couch tweet was about?
Yeah. We must ignite this couch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Astro Zombies in the house. Hicks Villains in the house. Ronan says, I don't think it was a live stream. I watched the original rant live. Yeah, it was not. We were fooled. We hoodwinks. Von Stugel, what is up?
Boy.
So yeah, let's do the campaigns. Wait, before we do that, what has been going on with you guys? Kevin?
Not a whole lot. I mean, outside of just working, lot of board meetings and boring meetings. So, yeah, just trying to catch streams when I can.
Vanessa?
My trainer hates me. So we did a leg day, and then we had to go back to back because of her schedule. So I had sessions with her on Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday I did a whole bunch of Slavic country freaking exercises, Bulgarian single leg squats, freaking Estonian freaking one-legged bullshit squat, whole bunch of stuff like that. So did my session on Wednesday. My legs are dead. I tell her Thursday, hey, my legs are dead. And she's like, don't worry, we're doing arms. I'm like, okay. So at the end of the workout, she had me freaking rowing to freaking Narnia. I went under the bridge of Terabithia. I saw James and this giant peach in the freaking sky. I, ruled past Middle Earth. Like I visited every freaking, passed by every freaking fictional land while I'm rowing to freaking Narnia. So my legs hate me.
What was your favorite?
Her.
What was your favorite part of Middle Earth?
Probably all the death.
I mean, what was your favorite part, like land, like geographic wise?
What is that?
Don't make me pull your nerd card from you, Vanessa.
You pull my nerd card. Like I'll admit, like I haven't read those books. Like they existed, and I was like, I'm not into fantasy.
All right. Hold on. Stippling Vaughn's in the chat. Says, hell, chat, cheer me up, guys. I want to know why Stippling Vaughn needs to be cheered up. That's sad. I want to know. And then Von Stugel says, does the trainer know of Groken, though?
That's a good question.
You know what? That's probably why she freaking had to kill my legs. I didn't tell her about Groken. Like she knew I was holding out on her.
Speaking of Groken, there's the man El Jefe, Kenneth Rocafort. Ravco says one can't simply row into Mordor. That's true. Yes. Passmaster Dan says rip George Perez. That's very sad today. Yeah. We've lost Neil Adams and George Perez. Very within a close amount of time. Yeah. So, I mean, these guys. I mean, we need to step back every once in a while and understand we have Nolan and T-Bear and Lepresti with us and how lucky we are. And Kenneth and Shane. Well, maybe Shane, but you guys know what I mean.
Yeah.
What's been going on with you, Amanda?
Cookie season is officially done, sort of, although we still have cookies left, but I'm done, ready for that to be over. My boss has been on vacation for 2 weeks, last week and this week coming up, so I actually worked 2 weeks, but I'll get paid, 2 days, but I'll get paid for all 5, so I'm kind of liking that. So I was home most of the week, doing a couple things of spring cleaning and just some of it doing nothing. So
there we go.
Yeah.
And then Jim Cox showed up. What's up, Jim? All right. Walk us through it.
All right. So first up for the openings, we have the Relentless Tin Soldier issue 2 just opened up yesterday, launched on Bancroft Stream. And this is Nicholas Greer. It's the first one I read and enjoyed, and I did back this one as well. Launching.
I told you from here on out, you just tell us what books you don't back.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to cancel the rest of this because I think I've backed all of them.
Okay. No. I mean, when you go through them, just tell us one you haven't backed.
If I haven't backed. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay. So this launched tonight, Miss Rena's Black Rhapsody Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
And closing, we have Gem Shock issue number 1, which only has 3 days left.
I can't believe that's 60 days already.
I know, that's cool.
It has been. Yep. We also have closing The Hunt for the Littlest Umbrella, which has 4 days left.
That's interesting because I feel like it's kind of been stuck in the mud, but I feel like he's been focused on the Amber Heard stuff. So
yeah.
All right.
A lot of that stuff coming from that camp. And last, we have Rich Ayala's Roach Balls closing in 7 days. Now, I do have a couple of other campaigns to note. Launching tomorrow, Charlie's London from Walworth to Wartime.
No.
Go back.
No. You're not going to talk about campaigns that are going to launch soon without
Oh, these
bringing
are
up
biggies.
bringing up Groken.
I'm
Yeah,
not
you have
going
to do
that far in
I
advance.
don't care. I don't see Groken on that tab. You're doing it wrong.
Charlie's London Reaper Destroyer. That's coming up this week. Okay.
No. Hit the little plus sign right
Hurry
next
up,
to it.
get Groken.
No, Groken 2. Type in Groken
Yep.
2. Pull it up.
June 15th launching.
June 15th launching. Say it, Amanda.
And last, and certainly not least, but maybe fourth, Metagraphia presents Broken 2 launching June 15th.
Everybody go sign up for Charlie's London, Reaper Destroyer, and Groken 2. Yeah, those are free. It doesn't cost you anything to sign up.
My
Kick
goodness,
Leroy.
Amanda.
I didn't do anything. Oh, and what's up, General Piggy? I meant to pull him up. So what's up, General Piggy? Kick Leroy says Von Stugel. He says that every stream I'm in. It doesn't matter. Kenneth says it's personal between him and Amanda. I think so.
I love him though.
Delmar says can't wait to get my paws on Groken 2. So there you go. All right, I gotta find something to share real quick, just because I feel like that's what we do, anyways. So
pull up something to share. I can't wait to get my paws on Groken 2 also, and I'll be part of the Struggle Bus crew. Launching on Wednesday.
At midnight Pacific. Because Kenneth hates us.
Taking up beforehand.
He's like, I have to yield to the Beast Coast all the time. You're gonna have to yield to the West for me. And I'm like, okay.
All right, so what I thought we'd do is, it's been slow here in CG as far as books are concerned. So I thought we'd go to each person in the panel and ask kind of how things with CG are going for you, how you're feeling about things and whatnot. I'm gonna save Vanessa for last. So we'll go with you, Amanda, first. Like, how's everything in CG for you? You having fun? Like, is there any thoughts, concerns? You have any praises? Like, how's everything going?
Oh, the pressure! You didn't give us cliff notes to prepare. I'm still having fun in CG. I'm finding some of my tastes are changing though, so I am either catching some replays rather than live, or checking out some new streams. There are some books that I'm excited to get, and ones that are launching soon that I'm excited to get. I know there was a one of Stato's quizzes that asked if they've backed more or less the same amount of books or whatever. I think between last year and this year, I'm still at about the same. I probably do 4 or 5 a month, and I think I am still keeping up with that pace. I did actually just back my 100th book this past week, so that was a milestone that I kind of missed. Let's see.
What do you mean? What do you mean you missed it? You just brought it up. You didn't miss it.
Well, no, I mean, I remember sharing with you guys in the DMs. I'm like, hey, look what's coming up. But it didn't dawn on me until like 5 days after I backed it that I was like, oh, wait, that was my 100th. Let me check to make sure. And I'm like, sure enough, it is. That's what I mean by missed it.
Michael says, my girlfriend said I'm 4th. What does that mean?
It means you're her favorite.
No,
behind 1, 2, and 3.
Behind 1, 2, and 3. I don't know what else. Like, going first is not my forte, because usually I'll like think of something when you guys are talking of something.
Well, you could always chime in.
I have complaints, but they're I can't think of anything right off the top of my mind. Usually I'm like, I see something and then I like go to you guys and just say like, I can't believe this. And
yeah, let me open the DM group. We'll get the complaints. All right, Kevin, how are you feeling about things?
I think for me, what I'm doing this year a little different is setting boundaries And I think what I mean by that is since I came into CG, I've always hit the streams as many as I could. I was hitting a lot there at one point, to the point to where it's like, hey, let me start a stream, and doing a show and still trying to get to the streams and stuff. I kind of burnt myself out, I think, a little bit. So I pulled back, just sort of took a break, and just started, like with this show, you asked me about excuse me, about being a part of it, and I was like, what, that's a good way. It lets me keep in touch of everything that's going on, and I can kind of reacclimate into catching streams. And so I've learned to kind of pick my fights when it comes to the shows I watch, simply so that I don't do that again. But I think, to me, probably the biggest thing that is frustrating are probably the delayed books. I don't know. It's frustrating. Some I understand, like printer issues, which are very understandable. But I think a lot of the books that are lingering a year, year and a half, approaching 2 years, it's hard to get excited.
Yeah.
And it's
real quick, Kevin, do you think the excitement is because of that, or I mean, let's face it. I mean, we all back. I mean, if you look at all of our backing lists, right? It's all a mix of, at least us four. It's a mix between small creators and big creators, right? Like, we're not all just, we're only backing Kenneth and Shane and Ethan. That's it. We're not those people. However, this year has been slow as far as like big campaigns launching.
Right.
So do you think that has anything to play with it, other than, is it just late books, or does that play into it?
Certainly, I think that is a part of it for me. I will say, going into this year, I kept looking at my fulfillment ratio, and it was not looking good starting the year. But I will say that I'm starting to get a lot of those books that I've backed over the last year or so starting to come in, and enjoying the majority of them, I think. But too, it's like what you said, just anticipating sort of these marquee campaigns, it's a little quiet. So going into that, I'm probably backing fewer books this year, at least so far. I mean, that will pick up, I'm sure, but as of right now, I think I've backed fewer this time last year.
Hicks Villain says, I've been getting a steady stream of books where the late books don't even bother me anymore. Well, that's good. I mean, this isn't a referendum on late books, really.
No.
Yeah. No. So, but all right, Vanessa, you got lots. That's why I'm like, because I know we're all going to talk. So bring it.
So there's some weird shenanigans happening.
Real quick, I got to say hi to Chauncey. I almost forgot. Hello, Chauncey.
Hi, Chauncey.
Okay.
I think there's some weird interpersonal shenanigans happening in all levels of CG right now. And it's really a turnoff for me.
Hold on. Some person, we don't promote on Saturdays on my channel. We don't do that. It's a no promo stream. We have to say a hi to Prater and Julie. Hey, Julie. Sorry, Vanessa.
That's all right. So I was watching Ballers. I actually enjoy that show. Surprise. So I'm watching that, and I'm like, okay, everybody's having fun. And then Shane goes over to mail-in stream, because mail-in streaming to whatever. And Mail-in says to him, like, I don't understand why you're not coming to the Jack show anymore, Shane. And Shane's like, hey, I have a kid. And he was like, but still, you should, you have the link. You could come to my show and have people laugh at you and blah, blah, blah. And how I kind of interpret that is that was Ethan's talking point like 2 months ago. Hi, Shane, how come you don't take my other links? Like, you'll show up for Monday, but you won't show up any other time. It's getting to the point where if you believe that everybody is supposed to build your own audience or their own audience and like go forth and do their own thing and every now and then combine, like you can't expect people to just come on your show all the freaking time. Like, no, if somebody's going out and building their own audience, then let them go and build their own audience. If you want somebody to be on your show all the freaking time, well, you let them know. If you're on a rotating show like Jack, which in my estimation needs to find somebody to fill the K, then do that. Or tell them like you're a co-host or something, but don't be mad if like, oh, you don't take the link anymore. Like, people have their own shit to do.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's freaking ridiculous right now. And let's not get on to the
No, let's do. That's what we're doing.
I mean, the lower level, like,
before you if you're going to move into something else, let me catch up to the chat real quick.
Yeah.
Some person says, I think CG will grow into something unrecognizable now. I think we'll get into that here shortly because I have a few points I want to bring up. Maybe, I don't know if I'm some person you'll agree, but I'll bring something. Pastmaster Dan, I agree with this. CG will have lanes like a super highway. That's what you're saying, Vanessa, right now.
Yeah.
Jim Cox said, I've only backed 20 IGGs so far. That seems like a lot, but I'm not sure it is for Jim. Michael says you're speaking for him right now, Vanessa. So you're channeling your inner Michael. I never tell anyone if I can never tell if they are being serious or it's just an act. Shane and Malin. I don't think we're done. We're going to get back with it. I don't take it too seriously, says Piggy. Call me king. I'll place. Wait. Call me king. I'll take the place. Oh, he wants to go on for the Jack.
Yeah.
My sister. So
my brother.
Yeah. Dan's digging it. I feel like Kelsey's on 5 books at a time, so I understand why he is very, very busy. I know, like he's alive. I know he's alive, and he is very, very busy. Kelsey is, and I love Kelsey's art, and I can't wait until he does his very own book. I mean, I've got money waiting for him. Stippling says, I don't think I'm backing less this year, but I'm going to back a book just because. I'm not going to back a book because it's CG. Exactly, Stippling. I'm with you. Some person says, if it's drama, it's an act. It's just a bunch of guys talking shit to each other. Whoa, we're going to get into that. Ravco says Shane's stream is greater than the rest. The swamp is a fickle mistress, says Dan. Wow, the chat's on fire. Keep it coming, guys. All right, Vanessa, keep on going.
Then there's this whole other thing where I think there's a slow move to come back to comics. It's like,
wow, I haven't seen that at all. Please expand, because I feel it's going the opposite.
Well, I mean, there's more. At least to my estimation, there's more draw streams going on. More people are talking about actual comics.
Where?
Like, I know freaking Art and Stuff did a freaking thing about. They've been doing a series about
okay, but those guys, Sean and Joe, they're really good at that, and they've always been on that. That's not changed with them. I'm more talking about the upper echelons. I don't like saying this shit, but you know what I mean, like the big guys. I feel like they're moving away from comics.
I mean, it's not all of them, because Graham has a good Tuesday. He takes us all to school.
Oh, we all love the four of us on this panel. Love Nolan's channel.
Yeah, I mean, even like Lepresti, I felt like I've been sleeping on his stream. Granted,
he had a draw stream last night that I watched. I learned.
Yeah, so I mean, depending on if you like the first hour or so, but like if you really want to get into like the meat and potatoes of like art, you have to get through that first hour. But and I'm not saying it's like a great, like we pivoted. I'm seeing more talk about comics than like last year. And
no, I mean, just to circle back on what I was saying, like I feel like those guys, but like maybe in some, I don't know if that's the case overall. I don't know if I agree.
Okay, that's fine.
General Piggy says Phil's show's the best on Friday. I lurked in there last night. I was lurking in Phil, and and Brandon's stream, and yeah, Phil and Brandon do those two do a great job when they're with each other. But they're
Yes.
brothers; they should have. Malin has done CG present streams. He just did
Yeah.
one.
Yep.
I lurked in that one too. I've been lurking. There's a lot of streams that I find unwatchable without being able to skip through them, says Von Stugel. That's a shame.
I'm
dude.
kind of feeling that, but I
Yeah.
think a lot of it is like the shows that I used to watch. The thing that I liked about it was the chat interaction and being small and just a few people on the panel. And now I find those shows that I used to watch have grown bigger, and so they have like 9 people on the stream, and I find that very hard to. I don't enjoy that so much, so I don't go there so much.
Ravco says, "Man, I love the professionals too. I find good comics talk there."
They take one person off the panel, and I would be there all the time.
Yeah, I feel you. Graham's streams are informative, and a pleasant view experience. We all love Graham. Hell, we got Vanessa on the Graham wagon
Yes.
recently. So there you go. I like Comicsgate, Red Valkyrie, and all this, and Ali.
Ali,
some
yeah.
person. There we go. Keep going, Vanessa.
So
Chat's on fire today.
Chat's on fire, and then like, I don't know if I want to do this. I'll say
Not that I know what
I'll
you're gonna say, but just your pause is funny.
Some of the crack pack shit is cringe as hell. I'll just say it right here. They insulate themselves within their own community. Like it reminds me kind of like Leroi was mentioning one time he was on Skips and he was like, "Hey, you guys aren't really, it's a whole bunch of you. You're doing a lot of streams, but it's all with all of you guys. You get about 100 backers, and then that's about it. That's all your freaking campaigns. We can freaking look at this list right here. Freaking Crack Pack, they're around 100 to 200 people between $5,000 to $10,000. The majority of their campaigns. So they had one campaign that just Ethan Van Sciver found on his show. Like he did one of these things going through Creator Go.
And sometimes he does. Sometimes
he did it with that's how we got was it that giant booby book?
The Dane gang or whatever.
And freaking Nerium.
Bonds doing it, yeah, Bonds.
Yeah, Nerium did that, but like so one gets pulled out of the atmosphere just, by Ethan thinking it's hilarious, which 100% fair. Then suddenly, like, the guy gets backers for 3 days, and then it's back to being flat. And anybody could see it if you get Backer Tracker as a add-on to your browser. You could see people's trajectories, their historic trajectories. So it launches pretty good, and then it flattens out. And then for freaking the Roach Balls, he had 3 good days where it bounced up and then it flattened out again. It's like, what happened to Comicsgate where everybody insulates in their own little corner, doesn't talk to people, has beefs, other corners have beefs with each other? It's freaking ridiculous. This is a niche market within a niche market. We don't have time to freaking having cliques infighting with each other. We ain't that fucking big.
Yeah, well, there's that, I guess. Amanda, you wanted the stuff to talk about. What do you say
about that?
Yeah,
some of it's kind of cringe. I know I've had some on stream, like, you guys aren't being right, but that's more with some specific people than the Crack Pack itself, that I was disheartened with them. And I find myself
this is
frequenting
CG's mom. She's
there.
like, I'm disheartened.
Less. I am disheartened.
I'm disappointed.
People
that's going to make somebody cry.
People don't have to like everybody, but you don't need to sit there and bully up on people. And I just didn't like that. So
I want to go back to a few things. Like, so you were touching on this earlier, Amanda, Vanessa, but you didn't really get to what a point I wanted to make. You didn't quite go that far. I feel like when you get to YouTube and you got the Jack Show and the Ballers and whatever, and now YouTube is just feeding itself, like it's just YouTube. And it used to be like and it still is true. You never get the feel goods or the warm vibe, you know what I mean? The good CG vibes. on those streams, on the Ballers or Jack Show. Those are just entertainment. It's always launches and closeouts that do, that's where you go to get that good CG vibe, where everybody gets together. It doesn't matter what clique you're in or whatever. And I don't know if not having those hasn't hurt, because
yeah, it's been a while.
But there
since we
have
had
been
it.
launch streams. There just haven't been like
big
Not
ones that
as long.
everybody all the cliques get into. You know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah.
talking about like, okay, you have this first time creator over here. I'm talking about look, we talk a lot about Roquefort here. I'm going to talk about him again because he's the best example for this. Having Kenneth on is such a genuine experience, and it's feel good vibes, and he's just having a good time, and it's always about the book. It's always about books with him. And what you were saying is it's coming back to books, Vanessa. That's where I'm like, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't think it is.
Well, I mean, if it's not that we are in a very CG is young, right? So it's not like we can't guarantee that this thing will exist in a year. Hell, we can't even guarantee that the mainstream comic book industry will exist in a year. But yeah, it's I think one of the things that galvanized the movement is that we had an enemy. Now the enemy is freaking stage 5 cancer and is about to die. So what does that mean? How do we transition where like we don't need that anymore? And it's maybe the transition is like, okay, now we're trying to preserve a truly American art form here. Like I don't know how CG is going to persist if we're missing that, and that's what a lot of people lean on to is the whole like us versus them thing that we have. Thoughts? Chat?
I
just realized I didn't post my sandwich, so I'm sorry.
I actually enjoy Citizen Ronan says I actually enjoy the art streams, the technique streams, and the general art chat the best, like Graham's and Gabe's Players Club. But I'm also older and an artist, and that's probably why I'm not an artist, and I enjoy art streams. I don't know if I like them the best, but I enjoy the hell out of them.
From certain people, I like those the best.
Yeah.
Like I like Ethan's draw streams. I'm not I like listening to him talk. However, when there's other people on the panel at Ethan's, I'm in and out of that stream, sometimes avoiding the streams. So like I like them from him. When it comes to I don't know, I think it's just because I like having fewer people on the panels. Like the show on Rob's channel, what has Rob and Bancroft, I like that. And they're about art, they're about CG happenings, they're some current but not so much events, things like that. But I guess it depends on the person that's presenting the art.
Some person says I like when Lepresti and Graham bring someone on like Mark A. Nelson. Yeah, I do look too. I mean, Graham's had a lot of cool people on. He's had Kubert, Jones, dude, he's had so many people on.
Yeah.
Chauncey was like, get it. This was a while ago, but when you were going to town, Vanessa, Chauncey was like telling you to kind of, he's like, get it, but not telling him to get it. Pastmaster Dan, Comicsgate should be everything, but I don't even know that word.
Is that bourgeoisie?
Bourgeois. Oh, now I do.
Okay.
Bougie.
Yeah, I've just never seen it spelled.
Yeah, it shouldn't be high on themselves.
Wake up at 3 a.m. for work through the week. I appreciate Bancroft does do some drawing streams way early. My awkward silent pause. There you go. Ravco, maybe I shouldn't say this, but my opinion of the biggest names are setting the worst examples. More focus of shock jock stuff. What we all came in for the start. I would agree, Ravco.
Yeah.
I think this probably sums up the best. What do you guys think? Vanessa,
I mean, I would agree with that. And I mean, the thing is we could see, because now we have 3-4 years of streams and of videos and stuff, so we could see like Ethan, for example, he's really become a very good broadcaster. He really has. But I think the temptation at the top level is that they really lean into the YouTube stuff and think that they are YouTubers than comic book artists. Where don't ever, I've been saying this, behind the scene for months now, and I'll say it publicly. Views are free. Views are FREE free. Okay, so we're supposed to, or at least the creators in Comicsgate, part of the method is to use YouTube as your marketing stream. You're supposed to be cultivating backers, people who will separate themselves from their hard-earned money to help you produce a product for the creator, right? So again, if all these bigger creators want to lean really hard into YouTube and they're the Howard Stern of freaking comics or whatever, again, views are FREE free. Free 99.
I mean, let me get to the chat, and I'm going to try to remember this point. Probably not, because the chat probably has another point we're going to get on to, because the chat's been excellent, freaking great. Maybe I shouldn't. We just said that. Julie says, prose writers, she's a writer. Julie's a writer. You could check her out on Amazon. Prose writers know you can't just sell books to other writers. Getting a community of creators isn't a market. Yeah, so you're speaking to the difference of career, but that's a whole nother discussion. And what's been going on, what you're seeing here, Julie, as creators supporting each other, that it's been on the con circuit for a long time too. So I don't know if it's that new, and that's a whole nother discussion. I know what you're saying though.
Don't forget her cooking skills. She has excellent cooking skills.
Oh, she whips your guys' ass every week. She did it again
on Amazon.
Did you see her smash burger? We're gonna look at it later. She whipped all your asses. Stippling Vaughn says part of that transition is the news sources are doing articles respective of. Part of the transition in the news sources are doing articles respectable of CG. The article on Dale and Phil is a great start. Yeah, but we have those sites like Bleeding Cool, who's always been kind of positive towards CG. We just don't talk about it. Bleeding Fool, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Angela Curry says the Tucci and EVS draw stream was fun. I lurked in there. It was great. Michael says pioneers often make poor settlers. Michael's on fire tonight. After the first breakout battles, creators might need to shift their models for the future. So he's saying change is inevitable. Things can't always be the same. I would agree. And my money is CG is outlasting DC. Absolutely, Stippling Vaughn. I would agree. Leroi needs Hillbilly hooked on phonics. I knew the word. I just never seen it in print before, guys. Jesus. Matt Yaki, who I like having on to talk comics. He's one of the guys that is about the books. So CG is going to become the latest bastion of printed comics, I think. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Shant streams are great, says Jeremy Burtz. There you go.
I do enjoy Shant streams.
Citizen Ronan says, I don't like the streams where you have to pay to engage. Super chats to get in the door. Then the chat ends up being something separate from the
I know that was one of the, not like this particular, but that was one of the complaints I did in chat. I went to go start watching a stream that someone did, and then I like try to fast forward to get through whatever to catch like a highlight, and then it's telling me that I need to be a member of the channel to be able to watch it. I'm like, I don't want to pay to watch this stuff. I'm like, frustrates me so much.
Look, it's no secret here that I go on Shane's channel from time to time, and I'm lucky enough to hang out with him on the live streams and whatever. But that's one thing I do consciously is I try to pull people like Ronan might say something and maybe we're on Shane's channel. He's got 300 people. The chat's going a million. I can't get to everybody, but on Shane, when I'm with Shane, I don't know if it's like this on the Ballers, but I will try to read funny chats or from people that aren't super chatting, just because if you want to support, the best way to support, and Shane would say this if he was here, but if you want to support Shane during his streams, the best way to do that is not to super chat, it's to back a book. Right. So that's why everybody's like, well, Leroi calls out backer numbers. Well, absolutely right, because that's what matters, right? General Piggy says, I really think Ethan has the fire under him to put out Wreck Planet in the next couple of months. I've really been enjoying whenever he draws. I very often lurk in those draw streams. I'm almost, whenever he goes on, he's drawing. I'm almost always in the chat. Angela Curry, you have any curry they're talking about? Yeah, Sean streams are fun. Just wait for him to call you out in the chat.
Did we say hi to Bert's?
Jared, I think I did. If not, shame on me. What about's in here too? People came in late. Yeah. I remember one stream was doing a tribute to a classic artist, and out of nowhere, Howard Chaykin logs in. Another time, Gina Carano appears on one of the obscure CG channels. You'll never know who'll show.
That's pretty cool.
Is it because we had, who do we have? We had George Lucas on the Uncorked stream last night.
Oh yeah, like there's alt accounts. Well,
So
Shelby had Todd McFarlane in his chat the other day.
Yeah.
Speaking of, if you guys like draw streams, check out Shelby's channel. He does a lot of great draw streams as well. Stippling Vaughn, well, when he does actually draw. Stippling Vaughn, I'd rather be a regular on a bunch of streams selling my book with lots of views than struggling to create a channel with maybe 10 viewers each week. Everyone is doing the Malin method. Let's unpack this.
Right.
I'd rather be a regular on a bunch of streams selling my book with lots of viewers than struggling to create a channel with maybe 10 viewers each week. Everyone is doing the Malin method. All right, go ahead, Vanessa, on this comment.
Well, I mean, this is the one thing I've noticed with co-hosts is that if they're not comfortable on where they're, I mean, okay, so the classic example is Ethan, right? Like we've had many, this people in here, on this panel and probably in this chat, we're fans of the Moral Compass here. He's very personable, well-spoken, gets his stuff out, likes comics. But if you pull him, and wrestling for the people who like the wrestling. But you get him on an Ethan stream if it's more than him, Malin, and Ethan, he just kind of becomes a wallflower. And I've noticed with a lot of people, like a lot of people in Kings, a lot of those guys just like kind of just close their mouth and just let whoever's dominating the conversation dominate the conversation. And a lot of them are actually very good streamers when they're by themselves.
Oh yeah, look, it's no secret when Andy Smith came in here, we were very hard on him. He did some stuff that maybe I didn't agree with, and that doesn't matter. Like I don't agree with it. That doesn't mean everybody it doesn't matter. However, he's great on his own channel. Andy Smith is great. But when he goes out on Monday, it's like he just disappears. So I think that's what you're kind of saying, Vanessa.
Yeah. So it gets a lot, and I understand. Like, hey, there's a lot of competition. It's only going to get worse, guys. As everybody comes to crowdfunding, eventually those yoo-hoos are going to have to come over here to start promoting their works. And it is what it is. And I mean, it's beneficial for you all to for a creator, I recommend everybody have their own channel. I'm also a fan that, if you build your own audience to launch on your own channel. But I mean, I understand. And I forgot who said this here. Somebody said it here. It'd be Michael. Like not everybody is everybody's not a natural promoter, which makes it hard on these. Like, I understand that.
But it used to be different. So okay, so let's look at Phil or Eddie. These two guys from Chicago. They're great examples of this. They don't care about clicks and the rest of the bullshit going on around in CG. They're going to go on every channel they can. They go everywhere. They'll go on Ethan's channel and then they'll go on Shay's channel. Then they'll come over here. Then they'll go on Jeremy's channel. They'll go everywhere. And I don't see a lot of that anymore.
No. Where you just
Of course, no. For me, I only have people on that I back, so that's
Well,
the
I mean,
thing.
and this is a fan channel. Like, we're all fans here. We're not, to my knowledge, none of us are ever going to put out a book, so it's a little different for us. But yeah, I mean, you should always be building a fan base that likes you. And I understand that, people don't like that because it's one of the things that we hear from the lower echelon is like, oh, it's a popularity contest. Partly, yeah, partly is. Like, if I think you're an asshole, I'm not going to back you.
I don't know. I think what we're seeing now is like
It's like it's moving
merit.
towards merit and skill, and like,
Yeah.
but I mean, even if you're an asshole, you could be skilled. I still may not back
Look,
you.
I think when people see Joe Sontag's book, he's going to start getting more. His channel's going to. He's going to get more popular. His channel is because his art warrants that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think his book is going to warrant that. People are going to see it. They're going to get excited, and rightfully so. So, I mean, that's merit talking. We got to get to the chat because we're way behind. General Piggy says, I'm going to start saving all my super chat money for smaller CG channels. Had a few larger channels where my chat seemed to go unheard. I would even say General Piggy, like what I would do I'd save the super chat money and go to the smaller channels, back their books, and put your backer number in the chat, because selling books is the name of the game. I mean, if it's not, look, I think we've gotten far away from this, but let's say that Ethan and Shane and Malin, say that these guys weren't comic artists and they weren't selling books. Would there be YouTube for those guys? I don't know. I think it's all about. I think when at the end of the day, it's about the books. Am I wrong?
No, what I was going to say that, as far as like creating your own channel, I think the big part that Malin and most of us probably agree on is this idea that you have a platform that you're not having to rely on other creators or other channels to, advertise your book or talk about your book. But it takes time. It's definitely not an overnight. You're not going to get 500 subs on a YouTube channel overnight. It takes a lot.
Well, if you do, you better nuke your channel.
right, and start all over again.
I think there have been some successes from people hanging out in chats, though.
Definitely.
If you're a regular in a chat, not just there to do whatever. Yes. But, you get in the chat, you don't have your channel, but you are known to others. So at least you're known. It gets them to look at your book. And if your book is a good looking book, it'll get you backers. So you don't have to do the mail-in method. It just helps.
Right.
Jim says, I think if you only have 10 viewers each week, you aren't doing a regular scheduled channel or need to be more interesting. Well, I think that gets back to Michael's point where he says everyone is not a natural promoter, which makes it hard on those folks. It's on the creator to find that fan that they connect with. Like we're all here firmly in Kenneth's corner, Mark Polton's corner, and we promote those guys. We go out of our way to make sure we're talking about them or whatever. So I mean, Shelby has somebody like Rick Saylor, like those engagement in that relationship between a creator and a fan that's a non-creator, like that has nothing, like there's nothing in it for me, like for whatever I do here, there's nothing in it. I'm just literally having fun, and I want to see Kenneth and Mark Polton. I want to see those guys succeed. That's it. I have no motivations. So, like, you need super fans, I guess. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or to use 7 of 9's phrase, an advocate.
Super advocates. Yes.
Yep. Although going to the 10 thing, you could also be at not the greatest time, and there could be many conflicting shows that are going on, and then it could be the draw of, okay, this person is much more interesting to listen to, so that's why you're at like 4, 5, 10 viewers. You could be stuck there.
I don't. It doesn't, like, I'll go. There's streams I'll go on. There's like 5 or 6 people, and I have a great time. So
I agree with you. I like the small chats.
Ravco says, me personally, I'd rather do my own channel. It's a pride thing to get support because people like what I do versus getting support because I'm writing someone else's clout or just part of the group. Why can't it be both though? That's my question. Why? Like Shane did both. I think he's such a great example. He did both at the same time, right? Remember the first time he came into CG? I know you remember, Vanessa. He went on Ethan's stream. And then immediately he's like, hey, I'm going on to my channel. So we all went over there. I had been subbed to him anyways. But like I went over there and it was like the worst freaking Comicsgate stream. There was like 9 of us. It was the worst CG stream. He's gotten a lot better. But he's an example of he's hanging out with the group and then he's doing his own thing. You know? So Chauncey says, Hail Prime Time, the king of fulfillment.
Yeah.
Talk about the moral compass. The Professionals is a much better show than the Kings. That we could do. We could critique the Kings, like that's for sure. Look at these 4 people, says General Piggy. I'm not sure what 4 people he's talking about.
It's some 4 people.
Us 4 people?
Yes. When more people gets on the stream, it's easy to get quiet. Jason Bascom, what's up, my man? I'm on Ethan's stream. I don't know. Were you? I don't know what's happening. Too many voices. Oh, he's talking about if you're getting drowned out. Yeah.
Easy to get lost.
How does Frog G, Felix, Eric, and all them get them great mods do it? I don't understand the mods part.
I think they're able to keep up with the conversation, therefore dropping links that work with what's going on and the conversation that's going in the chat. Mm-hmm. They're good at multitasking, and he's wondering how they do it.
Pastmaster Dan, I hate trainees. That's for you, Vanessa. I think
I'm trying to love my trainees. We're doing positive reinforcements. I yelled at them once. They got introduced to Furious V, but obviously it didn't work. So we're doing positive reinforcement now. We're doing gentle, loving V. We're trying to do the Amanda Vanessa with the trainees.
What about says Coach Danger V? Coach. That's agreeing. Henry Bemis says, I've never super chatted, but I spent a few grand on CG project. Hail, dude. That's what it's all about. That's how I like to support creators. I would agree. But some of these bigger streams, Henry, if you have like a point or whatever, the only way to do it is super chat. So I can see both, but I'd rather back books. I can see EVS doing YouTube without the books, but not Shane though. I don't think Shane would want to do YouTube. I think he wants to be a comic book creator. I mean, he's not here, but he's one of the dude. He's so smart. Like, and then I get to have conversations with him where we talk about books, and I one of these days I'll just have him on and we'll just talk about friggin' books. I think that's people don't understand that about him. I'm a success in chats and life, says Jason Bascom. That's like a Stuart Smalley thing from Saturday Night Live. Yeah.
Affirmations.
Johnny Rando's in the house. He wants us to know he's lurking. There you go. Some person says, do you all know Zevius? Yes. Who's he dating? I don't know. He shows up for 2 hours and 45 minutes, and Gina starts talking around 2:53. Talking about a stream where Gina Carano, that stuff, it's just not in my the whole pop culture thing is not my thing. A YouTube show doesn't have to be promotion. I would agree. I think Roach Balls and how he made such a splash in the chat before he was ever on stream.
I agree. People knew the name of the book beforehand.
Yeah.
Jason Bascom says, I'm my own super fan. Well, you need to be. You have to be. A lot better is a matter of opinion. I don't know what I said it was a lot better. I'm sure that's a critique on me because it's Jim. Oh, they're talking about Professionals. Okay, got it. Oh, C. Wilcox in the house. Hello, I was lurking and working, but it seems like maintaining a channel would be time consuming. As a writer pencils inks on my project, that seems like there may not. He says he might not have room to YouTube. I would say, like, if you want to have success, like, you have to kind of make it. But
yeah, and as far as like, it depends on how much production stuff you want to put into it. But I think that would be very doable. That's what a lot of the draw streams are.
I know it kills some creators. Like I know there are
Sure.
creators out there that YouTube for hours and then they turn around, shut off, and then they're drawing for hours. I don't think a lot of people see the hard work that goes into being like a creator around here. It's freaking hard.
Yeah, but you got enough shows that you probably don't have. Like, if you don't want to do a YouTube channel, you don't necessarily have to. It probably would help. But you have Samedi that does like the 4-minute promos. You have Don Chin that does like 4-minute promos. You have other channels that'll do like just a few minute promos or will have you on to promote your books. You can get around. You can get your book to be known. I don't think it's a requirement, and I don't think you'll be doing like there's always going to be something wrong in somebody's eyes, so just do you.
Well, it depends on what your definition of success is when you want to fund too. So hold on, I missed something. I hear it's essential for a creator, but it's more plausible for a team. Absolutely, you know. But you could always like show up in a chat like and be a regular, like
Get a co-host. That helps.
Not many independent books can ride the quality of the book alone without some type of promotion. I mean, I don't think any book really can. Not even Kenneth. I mean, there are a lot of people that promote and and get the word out on Kenneth's book. It's not. I mean, I think his art does a lot of the selling, but you still got to get the word out, man. Stippling says Shane has so much insight on the industry. It kills me when he does streams in the middle of the night. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, he's prime vampire streaming. Right. That's true.
Steve Wilcox says the draw streams seem better option, or even a few how-tos. The only thing about a draw stream is you need 2 people, one person reading the chat while you draw. That's what I would say. Good point, says Angela Curry. I don't know what point. Henry Bemis. Sequential art is legitimately tough. Artists from other mediums don't realize how difficult it can be to make comics. I think, layouts are...
Yeah, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, for sure. Roquefort says it's not easy maintaining, like, marketing. You have to be your own marketing arm. You have to be your own, publishing arm. You have to be your own... artist, and with Kenneth you have to be your own color and letterer too. So
I mean, it's hard to fund a crowd-funded book without a crowd.
Ooh,
it's deep.
I'm stealing that.
I mean, that's what it all comes down to, right? I mean, you're trying to build a crowd to get funding for, and as great as Kenneth's art is, without having eyes on that book, it's just not going to sell.
Yeah, I always tell Kenneth, like, his art sells itself. That's true. Sure. But it still has to be out there. So, like, what I do to help, and I don't know how much I help him, but I try, is like I try to post tweets with his art in it, because once people see his art, it speaks for itself, right? So,
yeah, I totally agree. Yep.
So, like, get your art out on Twitter, man. Like, do that. Like, don't just tweet it. Like, here's a link to my book. Cancel out put the link, but then cancel out the pic, and then put a picture of your
panels,
art. Yeah, share your
art. Probably even more important for writers to show the art of the book, because it's hard to show your writing, right? But the art's, that's why it's super important. And if your art is kind of not drawing people in, your book's probably not going to do well, even if it's well written.
Mm-hmm. So we're getting about...
Kevin just made all the writers mad.
Who?
What?
Oh, Kevin?
Well, yeah, like, well, my book's the best thing that's ever been written.
Oh, it could be.
What do you mean my art is shit? Like, your art is shit. I'm sorry.
I've never heard that. Like, I think we're pretty good at, like, not coming out and just saying something shit. So, I would say is like... Look, like, I think some of the bits, like, we rely too much on it. We're going to back to the YouTube thing, Vanessa and Kevin and Amanda. To get back to the YouTube things, I think we're relying a little too much on bits now, too. Like, and it's kind of getting old with me.
You
Does
mean
that make
like where
sense?
they
Like
recycle
gimmicks?
some of their?
Yeah. No, like bits like I don't know. Vanessa, I thought you were talking about one earlier, like a bit between Malin and Shane.
Oh.
No, I know that bit has people like, because I forget who it was that said in the chat earlier that like you can't tell if the stuff between Shane and Malin is real. So Shane and Malin, they're launching campaigns, just how the cycles are working right now. They're launching campaigns about the same time. So their little bit is a friendly competition with each other, which I totally 100% dig. Like that's
Yeah, the
fine.
competition part of it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like a bit that I know for that I didn't like, and I know for a fact Shane didn't like, was the whole Jewish bit that was going around. Like there's certain bits like that, like they're funny for like a couple days, then just let it go.
Well, I think you need to have it, like the bits, but you also need to have that real, like, natural conversation. Like, I feel like if you get John and Shane on the stream, and I've said this 1,000 times, but if you get those guys talking comics, it's freaking really great. Like, it is great. But for some reason, that shit has stopped. And I don't know if it's because I always blame this. I blame this on Narwhal, actually. So we go back to what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I don't know how long it was now, but there was a turn in the Jack show where they had Narwhal on, and Narwhal started being Narwhal and doing Narwhal things, and I love Narwhal. But it was the most ridiculous thing. He's talking about riding a scooter to the airport to pick up his girlfriend after taking a friggin' a bath in the river and all kinds of shit. Squeaky futons, AIDS 2, like whatever. All that stuff happened, and it was great, but it was very natural. And now everybody's just chasing that shit on all these channels, everything's changed, and that natural conversation that used to happen, it's not it. We're just chasing it. We're just chasing ridiculousness now, are we not?
Well, I mean, and part of it is maybe the Jack show in particular has run its course. I don't know. Maybe it just needs a little bit of hiatus. Like guys, take a month.
Yeah, but it's not just the Jack show though. It's like a lot of shows though.
That what about says Narwhal equals groundbreaker?
Yeah, he has been doing some stuff.
His animation stuff, that little clips he's been putting out, I am highly interested.
Dope.
Yeah. What?
Angela Chris says, I prefer writers who think they're the bestest ever. That's a joke. Angela keeps coming up with these jokes that I have no idea what's going on. Yaki says, I found writers are happy to tell you all about their books. Yeah, the Moral Compass. He's,
I was muted when you guys were talking about earlier about the Jack show, but in the defense of the Jack show, now I've never really been a Jack show fan. You have some diehard fans out there that would absolutely disagree that the Jack show needs to go on hiatus. Like, they love everything about it still. So, maybe it's some people that think they need to find the spark, but I think others would be really missing if, there was no more Jack show.
No more Sandwich Saturdays? No, that's not a bit. That's a segment. I'm teasing John. Yeah, Shane's haircut didn't help. What about? Like that. What about? All right. Narwhal does Narwhal things. It's true. Narwhal always does Narwhal things. There will always be sandwiches. Charlie's Lunch is in the house. There you go.
Cool.
Can't wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, we're launching. Or she's launching. Narwhal wasn't natural.
Do we have a time on that there, Charlie?
It wasn't forced though, Matt. Maybe Narwhal's not natural, but that shit wasn't forced on that Jack show. There's a lot of Jack shows out there now. That's all right, Jason. Exactly. There are a lot of Jack shows out there now. And I think that's kind of why the four of us, we gravitate towards Nolan's channel now, right? It's because it's not that. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I realize people have different tastes and attitudes towards these streams, and I've just never really watched a lot of those. I occasionally peek in, but I tend to I guess gear towards shows that are art centric, where I don't know, some of the shenanigans are a little much for me, but that's just me.
I think I'm with you. I don't, the Jack Show type shows. You probably got what, the Jack Show, Camel Knights, and the Ballers. I don't watch any of them, so I'm with you on that.
But I
My
mean,
heart
obviously,
hurts.
yeah, and obviously, though, people come out for those, and that's
Yeah.
great that there's those
Yeah.
options. And unless you're changing the subject, I was going to say earlier on, with all the different groups and cliques and things like that, I would imagine as CG continues to grow, it's probably a natural tendency for people, as more and more people come in, they start finding things that they're more comfortable with. I mean, I feel like I did that, where I was gravitated towards the chat and to Bancroft's show. And like I said, as things grow, people find their own little crowds. I think the danger comes in is when you start excluding people or purposely sort of creating wedges in. I don't know. It gets tricky to me, and I tend to kind of not go into those streams if I feel like that's the attitudes.
I would say this, Vanessa and Amanda and Kevin, and to the chat. So you could have two streams, right? You can have a Jack Show Ballers type stream where you get like 5 to 1,200 views on it or whatever. Or you can have one stream where you get Malin. I was telling the guys I'm going to try to get a stream where you get 3 artists on and they're talking comics and whatever. That, first of all, that builds goodwill towards comic book fans, right? Not just people here for the debauchery, and the debauchery is fun. Obviously, I'm part of it sometimes, but like you get 100 people watching that, I would say you're probably going to sell more books in the one where everything's genuine and whatever than you are on the Jack Show. And I'm gonna come away feeling better from that 100. You know what I mean? Not because
Sure.
it's the chat's small or whatever, just because I like the content. Am I wrong?
I think so. I think a part of those types of shenanigans, I think that helps with the YouTube subscribers
and growing Comicsgate in general. I'm not advocating that the Jack Show goes away, by the way.
Oh, no. No. I would not argue for that either. There's got to be options, and there are plenty of options out there, I think, for people's tastes and what they find entertaining. But yeah, I think if a genuine stream, I guess to me would be kind of like what you're saying. You've got artists talking about art and comics and that sort of thing, and it's going to probably sell more books. I think the Jack Show type entertainment, I think that's going to give you subscribers.
I mean, it goes back to words. Stream. This is what we do. This is what happens when you don't stream one Saturday.
Well,
but everybody's on a spectrum, right? Like, am I purely here to sell my books, or am I purely here to be on YouTube? And then there's, everybody's on this spectrum somewhere, and everybody has to figure out where they're at and how that works with their business. And you know what? If somebody is like, so Anna is fully a YouTuber, that's 100% okay.
Nothing wrong with it.
And there's people, Kenneth Roquefort, he's purely a comic book dude.
If he wasn't, I'd be pissed.
Yeah. I mean, that's 100% okay. But yeah, trying to figure it out and like at what point does one hurt the other? Because there could be points, and everybody's different. Everybody's fact pattern is different, but there could be points where your YouTube hurts your comic book business.
What I'm from this conversation, what I'm gathering is there's two different kinds of there's two audiences, right? And I think one is being underserved right now, and it's like a lot of people in this chat are a part of that segment, and there's a lot of people that are leaving right now that are part of that segment. But you're that segment where we're here for the books. And that's the most important thing. It's the important thing. I want to do the debauchery shit. I want to hear Narwhal's antics on the Jack Show. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But at the end of the day, I'm here for books, man. Like, and maybe I'm not in the majority, and that's fine. But like, there's a lot of people like me, and I think that demographic is being underserved right now. Am I wrong?
I can definitely see your point. I think that may be why I'm watching fewer streams. But no, that's something to think about.
Chauncey, and I would agree with Chauncey says Jack Show needs that K. Like, I thought Kelsey was probably my favorite on the Jack Show.
He's just not showing up as much.
No, he's busy. He's busy working.
Yeah.
So, Narwhal streams needs more watchers. I tune in Narwhal when I can. Narwhal's animation looks really good. Hell yeah. I'm very excited to see what he's doing with the animation stuff. Charlie's saying glad everybody's there, talking about her launch tomorrow. Kelsey has been the best participant of the Jack Show for 6 months. Ouch. Ouch, Monstugel. Eric says, yo, I made it. He's abandoning us tonight.
Yeah.
I'm just watching to find out finer things about the launch, and we'll update everyone. Jack Show is no longer in the honeymoon phase, but I still watch it just because I gotta. I'm even done. I used to watch it just because I feel like I had to, but now don't even do that anymore. I don't know when I think there was one time with Witten where it broke me. There was it broke me. I remember it. I don't even want to get into it. What about says Hell Slap Mountain? Yeah, that's the debauchery I'm talking about. Jack Show needs to stop bringing on the influencers. Oh, I can't agree with you more, Henry. I can't effing stand online influencers. Couldn't agree more, Henry Bemis. Ravco says there's been a couple of times where Shane and Malin will get into talking comics and it's derailed, but for those few moments, it's great. Yeah, and unfortunately, Ravco, when it usually happens, it's not on either. They end up joining some random channel, and then it happens. So it's always that happens for like 20 or 30 people. I miss Malin, like the Malin we haven't had, Vanessa, and you might want to chime in. Remember, John would like go on everywhere and talk comics and like tell people like was a coach for a reason, and he hasn't been the coach in a while. Am I wrong?
I mean, it feels that way because remember he had a epic rant, and I believe it was on the Bardens, talking about like how everybody wants to have that killer. Every artist wants to get paid. Every artist wants to be the greatest thing that's held a pencil, but when it comes down to being that person and doing that work, no one's there, effing around playing Call of Duty or whatever the heck. And he was like, listen, when I was, he talked about his story in comics, and it's really inspiring, like as far as what trials and tribulations he had to overcome just to get to freaking Image of all places, right? And then to get to Marvel and like being able to work with his, for lack of a better phrase, idol, but then to see it go all to shit and then coming over here to like go forward and trying to build something, like it really is. And he's really a good, not a measuring stick, probably like a temperature check on artists, on the creatives. But yeah, I don't know, somebody mentioned it earlier and maybe there's a correlation, but John has been drinking more. And I'm
not touching this one. Keep going.
Yes, and like I said, I don't know.
Malt liquor.
I can chime in a little bit on that.
Go ahead.
I know just disheartening. I remember when Ethan was talking about that malt liquor guy, and John was like, "What are you talking? This guy is like a weirdo loser." I'm not sure the exact term he did, but he just kind of like passed off this guy like this guy's a weirdo. And then the next thing you know, he's picking up and he's acting just like him. I'm like, no, you're not a wannabe, Malin. Stop being the wannabe.
No, Malin is a trendsetter. Like, I would agree. Like, I said it many times. Evie has brought me to CG. Malin was the guy that kept my ass here, and it was because like everybody is like Malin's a dick, and it's like maybe sometimes he is a dick, but he comes off that way, like trying to get people to see and do the right things. That's what John did. I mean, that's why he's the coach, right? That's the things that John would do, and I don't know. I miss that John. I wonder where I kind of miss that John. I haven't seen a lot of him. I have fun on Charlie's channel. Yeah, I've been on your channel. I'm in the chat all the time. You just never say hi when I'm in there. I have fun on my channel, just chatting about the history and doing artist interviews. I know that that's my niche. I have to be that person because being anything else isn't me. I do love Jack Show and Ballers. I think there's room for everything. I just think there's a segment, like I said, that's underserved. I think you have to have Ballers in the Jack Show because it grows CG. A lot of people like will watch the Jack Show and not want to watch Graham Nolan on Tuesday like we love. So I think you have to have both. Jason Bascom, I like draw chill streams with some banter. You may not get as much art done as if you're not streaming, but it's more fun. I think that's fun to be on those panels, but it's not that fun as a viewer. I think it's real fun to hang out like that on the stream, but as like somebody who's watching the stream, I'm not sure it's fun. Maybe you guys understand what I'm saying. I hope I'm making it clear. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it depends on the conversation more than
there's
anything.
A lot of streams like that where you get a handful of people that are there and they're hanging out like they're buddy and they're drawing. They ignore the chat. Like they don't refer to the chat.
I'm not talking to Jason because Jason does not ignore the chat. So don't get offended, Jason, because I know you don't ignore the chat. But I'm saying I know what streams you're talking about, and sometimes.
Or they'll get to the chat 10 minutes later, or there's only like 5 people in the chat watching. Nobody's really talking. It's I don't know. Sometimes there's a degree that some of those are good, then there's a degree that some of those are like, it's more fun for the people that are on the panel than the people that are watching.
All right, we gotta fly through this chat and get caught up. I've been fortunate to catch some of your live streams. We're talking about Charlie. There you go. Some of my favorite streams are when I watch artists draw. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier before you joined, Charlie. Talking about draw streams. A lot of people like Leroi. I don't think so. I really don't. You need to see You need to see my DMs, Jim. Kelsey is like a deadbeat dad. Kelsey is busy. Like these guys have to draw, guys. It's like, geez.
Yeah, with his other family. City.
But he pays his child support, and that's important too. Okay.
Henry Bemis brings up a great point. It's a fine line between healthy debauchery and degeneracy. Right. Yeah, you have to like ride that line for sure. Jabba is the coach now. There you go. I think. Yeah. I read that earlier. Chauncey says it's a tough balance for creators because audience grows from shenanigans. Exactly. Yeah. While those who care about pushing the craft forward is a bed. This is perfect. I read this, Vanessa. And get into it. Read it.
All right. So it's tough. It's a tough balance for creators because audience grow from shenanigans, while those who care about pushing the craft forward is a bedrock of these platforms. I mean, like you said, one of the things that I will say is that I really do admire every person that becomes a creator especially CG, because like there's that extra level of nonsense that we have to deal with, right? But to be a entrepreneur and you're doing this on your own, and our particular form of business is that you're not gonna hear about a lot of people like, oh yeah, you have to get a lot of money for advertising and blah blah blah. We're trying to do this guerrilla warfare style, in a way. So I really respect when people do that. Regardless if I like your stuff or not, just know there is a level of respect that I just automatically have. So like I understand like there's a balance. I mean, if you watch those early Shane streams, like they're pretty horrible. They're pretty horrible. Like
Dude, we were giving him the business, man. Are you kidding me?
Well, you talked about the first time you ever hopped on a stream. It was on his. He was Shane. This is literally Shane. Let me get. Guys, I'm about to drop the link into the chat, and if no one joins me, I'm just gonna stop this stream.
Yeah, I joined
Like-
because of that. Yeah,
It was
the
like a
first time I
cookie
ever
show.
live streamed. Yeah.
Yeah. And like we were giving him like the CG business, and he's like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you guys. So,
Little
like,
did you know where he would go, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, I think he has found a balance for him, and not everybody could do, because he can lean on 20 years in the comic book industry and the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
So he has some insights for like his recorded videos, but I mean, I appreciate the challenge of trying to like, especially if you're a creator and you're like really want to lean on being an artiste, right? Like I could appreciate the challenge of like I want to push my art and like protect the art form, bro. And I don't know why I said it like that, because I legitimately like that is a legitimate concern of mine. Like we could lose this art form in my lifetime. All right. But trying to like get people to see your stuff, it like that is a hard nut to crack.
All right, I want to bring up something great I've noticed about CG, but let me just read these chats and then we'll get to that. John is still the coach. It comes out every now and again. I think Angela, like the coach moniker came before you were around CG. Like you had to have been there to understand kind of what we're referencing there. So it may still come out, but it used to be when John wasn't around, you would know it because John was everywhere on everybody's stream. And I don't mean like Ethan's, and I mean, he'd go on Charlie's stream or the Barton stream or, whatever, Mike Miller's stream or whatever. He was everywhere, man, and telling people what's what and all that. So that I kind of like I miss that. Michael says, let's just say drinking on the job is usually a bad idea. Von Strugel says the only drunk I like is Cecil. John tells you straight. Yeah, and that's why like he was a dick because of that. He wasn't a dick for being a dick's sake, I guess. Like there you go. I remember that too. CGK is a good crew. We missed
like
a good
guys.
Jason said we missed a good dick.
Tell me about it, Jason. Tell me.
Oh. Your Twitter dad's in the chat. Don't talk like that.
He's blushing.
I thought I was
sorry.
subscribed.
I'm sorry, Padre.
Angela went over and subscribed to Charlie. We appreciate that. I wasn't offended. Okay.
That was referring to Amanda saying that they ignore the chat, some artists or creators. And you cleared it up, but I think you had put that in there.
No, Jason's really good at pulling up chats. Jason sees the chat better than some of the streamers of 2020 Vision. People likes me, I guess, except John. He just puts up with me. Gary G's in the house. There he is. I was wondering where Gary G was. I like Leroi. Yeah, I'm serious about nonsense. Says Passmaster Dan. Shane's pre-recorded videos are some of my all my favorites. I like a lot of them. I'll watch.
Yeah.
Get Over It's in the house. What's up? Get Over It.
The Catapano is closing down by the sounds in 3 days. Although when we do campaigns, it's just the active funding that we talk about. But thanks for letting us all know.
Relax, don't worry. I'm not sure if that's like telling him to relax or he's trying to quote the song, Vanessa.
That's true.
Isn't it relax? Don't do it.
Yeah, never mind. So what I would say I've been really happy with CG is the books that have come out have been really good in the last year. I think there's been a definite step up in quality. I mean, and I think like Graham and Shane and Kenneth, they have a lot to do with that, of course. But I mean, even you get down to some a newer creator like Eddie Winkler. I think the lessons from the past, even newer people that are coming in, they're learning. They have learned those lessons from other people, and the books have been a lot better as a consequence of that, I think.
I think you're right too, and I can speak to that because I've had probably half dozen, no, probably closer to a dozen books that were done in CG before I came in October of 2020, and I've read those books, and then of course I've read the books I've gotten that I've backed since being in here, and the ones that I've gotten in the past year are definitely ranked higher than the ones I've gotten that would be previous to 2020. So I agree with that.
Yeah, I can go with that. It's for me, the big thing is just my fulfillment ratio has improved quite a bit this year.
Go ahead, read it.
So John says it's hard to put forward a 2022 CG book, which you might be a little embarrassed by. I mean, I would have to agree with that. Like, the quality has risen over the time I've been in CG.
Hard to put. Wait, I'm trying to read that. Damn
Okay.
You. Hard to put forward a 2022 CG book, which you might buy. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying exactly. So I was talking to somebody, I don't know who, but we have the people that are like on the outskirts of. They're starting to see the light. I'm talking about Wes and Perch. Those guys. They're on the outskirts. They're starting to see the light. 3 years too late, 4 years too late, but they're starting to see it. And then you wonder, they're still talking about DC, and it's like you look at Groken or Alien Alamo or Starlight Cats. It's like, okay, you guys could talk about these books too. It doesn't have to be because they're CG. It just could be because they're good books. If you guys cared about comics as much as you're saying, like, we have books now we can throw in their faces and be like, look, this is what we're doing. Like, this is where it's at. That's how good the books that are coming out now are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Burtz. He says he got Battlebrook Road and Oddity. We all got Battlebrook Road on the panel, right? I think all of us have gotten it. And actually, Vanessa, you liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I liked it too.
And actually, like that, like you didn't think she would?
I don't know. I never know what Vanessa's gonna like.
I mean, there was a couple of. Well, you could tell that there's room for improvement. Leroi, since you got Flying Fortress, you could probably talk better, about his improvement over time.
Yeah.
There was. So I kind of did it the Leroi method. I do need to reread it again. But doing it, we're like going through the book, we're just looking at layouts and art. There was a couple of panels which I thought would have been better if they were a page turn and that it was a review. Like, that's how much I liked some of his just like a panel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I really like this panel a lot. I wish this was a page turn. That it was a reveal on a reveal than just being on like the spine or whatever. The sometimes Thea's face got weird. But that's okay. Like, his little Thea was very good. I was like, oh, she actually looks like a little kid.
Right.
Well, I mean,
yeah, it's hard to pull that off sometimes.
Yeah, I heard artists have hard times with kids, like drawing kids. So, like, 4-year-old Thea looked like a 4-year-old, and I was like, okay. And like, I'm bought into the story. I'm in for the second one.
Citizen Ronan says, to an earlier point, I think before an unknown artist decides to do a book, he or she should really get out there on social media, building up your brand first. Joe Sontag did that.
Yep.
Is doing that in spades. He's doing an outstanding job. So if go sign up for Reaper Destroyer, go look at his art, like and go look at his channel, like, and his Twitter. He's doing exactly what you're talking about. He's the blueprint of that, I would say, Ronan. He did an outstanding job with that. Shane is my Twitter daddy, says Mortal V. Throw them books in their faces and laugh. Talking about Wes and Perch. Julie's mad because she doesn't have Battlebrook Road yet.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Some person says, just an idea for comic creators out there. They could spend in their art to the Spectrum I don't.
Contemporary and fantastic.
Oh,
art manual.
contemporary. That's
Yeah.
like okay.
Fat fingered it there, I think.
They don't. I haven't seen that channel, so I couldn't speak to it. Some CG artists could get in it. I'd have to take a look at it. Astro said, I have a feeling that Joe's campaign is going to be big. My BHB was supposed to arrive today. I think BHB is
The
I think
BRB.
it's supposed to be BRB. Yeah.
Battle Brick Road. Okay.
People get in a
BBR.
hurry, I think.
There we go.
We've all been there.
I had the tomato chunks. I was talking about sandwiches. All right, so
Segue?
we've had quite the animated conversation. But now, Vanessa, has there been anything like you have enjoyed in CG for the last 6 months or so?
Starting to getting books consistently. That's nice. And again, the books that I have received, I've overall like enjoyed. Obviously, like my scale is skewed because like Groken is in that scale.
That's the baseline. Groken.
That is not the baseline. That is the outlier. That's like throwing off the whole average, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay
The
with
bell
it.
curve thrower.
Yeah, I mean, you can't read that and then read another book. Like you have to give the other books some fairness, some separation. But no, like I jumped on the Alien Alamo train, and like that was a good book.
You like that? I told you would.
Yeah,
you didn't listen to me.
That's a good book. And then Charlie's London. I mean, I still have a stack of books to read, guys. And so if I don't say your name, that's probably because you're in the stack. I know. Listen, I'm not gonna make excuses for myself on the internet. I'm busy though. But
what's his name?
My God.
Is it John Wheel or is it somebody else?
We are not doing this again.
No, we are. You've been
not.
busy. What's his name? I think Kenneth deserves to know.
Like at this point, like we don't have to tell my Twitter dad anything. Like it's not.
Yeah, we do. He needs to know.
I'm pretty sure you were pretty revealing just a little bit ago.
No, we are not doing this again.
Did you meet him at church?
We're not doing this again. Horrible.
Some person says it's a con they have each year. Speaking of cons, your Twitter dad's going to be at a con next weekend, and
yep,
he's going to miss our show. He's not going to be in the chat like normal. He's going to be at a con.
And I will respectfully request for the California chapter of the Rocaforce to please show up and show out. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a con they have each year. They have a jury of peers pick the best, and they get published in the collection once a year. I don't know if that's. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know if they'd want their stuff printed anywhere else. Some person. Crowdfunding is kind of funny that way. Astro Zombie says, I have a stack to read also. So there you go. Get Joe Bob Cletus to read Stack of Con. Vanessa's reading from a script now about her relationship.
It's like her attorney got it for her.
No, you guys don't understand. Once I decide I want to know, I'll find out. Like, this is coming out now. Like, I already know there's somebody because she didn't outright tell us there was nobody. So we know that there's somebody. So now we're going to find out about him. She's been busy. She's not been around. She made some bullshit excuse up last week why she couldn't join the stream. Now we know why. We're going to find out. We're going to find out, Vanessa. It's happening. Name them.
I hate everything about this show sometimes.
Jason says I have a long box to read. I don't think you're going to read them, Jason. Let's be real. You said last was like a few weeks ago. Jason said he's read 4 books. Kenneth says that 20. Oh, okay. 2 weeks from now, 21st and 22nd in Ontario, California. If you guys want to go meet Kenneth Rocafort. Is he looking for citizenship? You being a Vietnamese guy? What's going on, Vanessa? Stay strong, Vanessa. All right, let me pull up the sandwiches. Y'all talk.
All right. So, Amanda, how's your show with Jim going?
Okay, we didn't stream last week because my birthday, and then I had a baby shower to go to, and and stuff, but we are planning to do it tomorrow. And we've so this is the show that we look at some Indiegogo campaigns, specifically CG, at least as far as Creator Go defines them. And we basically talk amongst ourselves with people in the chat, what we like, what we don't like. We've actually had a pretty good response. Nobody has sent death threats or anything like that yet. We've had a few people, we've had a few creators reach out and say that they've made changes.
Amanda, so. You have to check with Leroi though, because I've noticed this about being on this panel is that people don't tell you. They'll tell Leroi because they think Leroy's our daddy.
Okay.
Because listen, I've been saying spicy stuff for months now. My DMs are wide open. Crickets.
That is
crickets
true.
up in there. Yeah.
What time is that?
Maybe they don't want the wrath of the Furious Fee.
What time is that show tomorrow? The stream?
It's usually Sundays at 3. Like that's the time that we're trying to keep the consistency with.
Okay.
There was one time I went home and wasn't coming back in time for 3 o'clock that we pushed it to 5, but we're trying to keep it for 3. But yeah, we've had Michael Oden. He has the SPQR campaign. There was quite a bit of things that we thought needed to be tweaked, and he actually did it like within a couple days. And it's like, hey, you want to check it back out? And thanks for doing this. Like we've actually got a really good reception. So
we've only got 3.
And I did mine last minute, so.
This one doesn't count. Get over it if you're still in the chat. Like this is a drawn sandwich, not a. Well, I guess it's made, but it still doesn't count. Real quick before you get to sandwiches, because we shed viewers usually. Like, I want to thank the chat. I think this is the best show we've had since we've been back.
I agree.
Yeah,
I've had no plan for the show. I had one question, and we talked about that one question the entire night. And it's not because of us; it's because of the chat. Some person, Jim Cox. What about Chauncey, Citizen Ronan? You guys were in here contributing, and that's what makes the show great. Like so. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Like all you guys in the chat. This show was really good today, and it was because of you, not us.
We appreciate you.
All right, let's get to the sandwiches.
All right.
You kind of did like this one before, and you won with it. You won my vote.
Was it the cheese knots?
It wasn't the nuts. It was ham and cheese with I think it was on Hawaiian rolls.
Oh, the Hawaiian bread. Yes,
butter. Yeah.
Yeah. But this was this just had the garlic bread. There's no other condiment on there, and then ham and cheese. So it's the garlic that's on the knot itself. No extra stuff.
Looks good.
All right.
And they're small, so they're sliders. They're less than the palm of your hand type thing.
Yeah, normally you would win. When I win, I mean I choose you. That's what I mean by win.
I haven't been your 6th favorite person forever.
It's
I think I've been like your 6 billionth favorite person.
I just want to give you an A for effort, Amanda. Is what I'm saying. And I can't choose you because I mean there's something better.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate your effort this week. I'm not going to talk shit like I normally do. Okay. This looks good. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And then we have Jim's with a great, outstanding selection of bread. Do you see this?
I think it's the bread that pulls it down, in my opinion. But
no, it clearly steps it up. I don't know what you're talking about.
Look at all the fine goodness between the bread, and then you just got your
Wonder Bread. Yeah, it's outstanding.
I don't think it's Wonder Bread.
This is a sandwich for a man.
Is that a Dixie plate?
Yeah, he was telling me it's actually a Dollar Tree paper plate. It's not even
I don't
Dixie.
think it's paper. I think it's a real plate.
No, it's a paper plate. It's styrofoam. It might be
styrofoam. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
He told me it was a paper plate. It's okay. So let's say chipped sirloin, so steak with provolone cheese, grilled peppers, and onions. There you go. Outstanding, Jim. And then
so filling that it's falling out of the bread.
We're gonna get to the lady that puts your asses all to shame. Look at this smash burger.
Wow.
Oh.
That does look good.
Where are you finding that Dr. Pepper?
I don't care about the Dr. Pepper. Look at the burger.
No, I need the soda in my life.
Yeah, she needs it in her life. 0 sugar. Look at that.
And then it's Dr. Pepper.
And it's cream soda.
Second, yes, it's like second behind Moxie.
Henry
Wow.
is thinking about talking about Jim's sandwich. Simple and effective, good sandwich. Shirley, that's artisan bread on Jim's sandwich. Absolutely. Henry Bemis is the only guy that agrees with me. White bread is underrated. So we have a smash burger. At least it looks like that kind of smash burger style. This looks great.
Yeah.
The long
that it?
pickle.
As far as entries?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, I'm making a poll.
Oh, what? Nice. Yes.
You just said last week that's what you missed like most about her not being with us last week is that you had to go back to your old ways and do everything yourself.
Oh yeah. I'm getting spoiled. It's Ravco. Ravco says I need that sugar cream soda
Yeah,
also.
see? Dr. Pepper and cream soda.
Throw out those pickles and I'd vote for the burger, says Von Strugel. Fair. I like pickles, but I get it. That plate says America. I was talking about Jim's plate. Yeah.
What is that holding up the Funyuns? What is that?
Yeah, Funyuns.
Yeah, what is that behind the Funyuns?
Tomato looks like.
Oh yeah,
tomato.
that's what she was explaining to Jim earlier in the chat. I think it was some leftover tomatoes or something.
Oh, okay.
Polls in the chat.
Yes.
Polls in the chat.
And now that you say that, I'm like, are those Funyuns? I thought they were onion rings at first, but no, those are Funyuns.
Julie, I would like to congratulate you for again winning and being my sixth favorite woman on the planet.
It's all because of the soda.
No, it's not.
She's distracted.
Julie wins every week. All she does is win.
She wins your heart, yes.
Julie's husband is a very lucky man.
He is.
Yeah. Tell us about them onion rings. That might decide my vote. Yeah, I think it's Funyuns. It's really good soda. Julie's saying it's really good soda. And for those that don't know, Julie is actually what's your other name? Julie, you guys say it in the chat. It's not
Cyanova.
Cyanora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does. She makes her homemade bread too. I'm a little jealous.
She draws sometimes as well. She did some fan art for Shane. Funyuns.
Jason wants to start some shenanigans here.
No, we're not doing raps. That would be like raps and IPA. That's like hipster shit. All good entrants today, but there can only be one winner. I already decided the winner. I mean, this is just a formality. The winner's already been decided. Why is there a fork? Julie or Kenneth wants to know why you had a fork, Julie, on your plate.
Maybe the tomatoes.
Oh, for the spillage.
Yeah, you have to scoop the drippings off the sandwich. All right, we have how many votes?
18.
Jim says I need the Julie Pascal cookbook. I think I do, especially when it comes to your bread there, Julie. Because you made what did she make last week or the week before? And you asked if it was going to go on a sandwich there, Leroy.
It's a tie between Julie and Amanda right now. I didn't even hear what you're saying. I'm very enthralled by this.
Yeah.
All right, Julie, did you hear me? What was the bread you made last week that Leroy asked if it was going to go on a sandwich?
That was
Was it rye? No,
it wasn't rye. It was
ciabatta? No.
Ciabatta bread. It was ciabatta.
Was it? Okay. Yeah. I was like, yeah, that looks good.
The fork was for the cantaloupe, but she already ate it. There you go, Kenneth. But even a hillbilly like me, I mean, we eat cantaloupe with our hands. That's fancy. Eating it with a fork. Henry says I voted for a ham and Mott's because I would devour it immediately. Fair enough. I never picked the real winner. I pick my winner. Coming up with the sandwich that can compete with Amanda and Julie, like an Iron Chef challenge. Julie brings the heat.
Oh, she did make amazing pretzels, but that's not what I was referring to. I did like your post with that. It was the
I would think if Julie should just bring her husband to this channel and just watch the end of the stream. If he starts complaining about her, you want to know how good you have it? Look at all these people that love me.
They appreciate me.
Gary G says I voted for Jim because that's the sandwich for the man on the go. It's a hillbilly.
I don't know about on the go. That sandwich. You pick it up, it's gonna fall apart. That's where the one where you happily scoop it up with your fork at the end and enjoy every last bite.
All sandwiches were strong entries. It was a tough decision, says Henry Bemis.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, it's a tie. We know what happens in a tie, so we'll give it a few more minutes to see. But if it's a tie, my vote is the
Your vote
breaker.
wins. Yep.
Yep. Fork too sophisticated. Exactly, Jim Cox. I was gonna vote for Amanda's, but then I saw Julie says Angela.
Burgers work. Burgers definitely work. Look at Citizen Ronan's. I voted for the cheeseburger because, again, America.
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 Thanks for the education, says Kenneth. That's nice. All right. I'm calling it.
Okay.
Julie, you are not only the sixth favorite woman on the planet for myself, but you are the winner of Sandwich Saturday this week.
How many votes are there? 19?
16, 19.
19.
Yeah.
And there's 21 watching, so we have 2 people
Okay.
just lurking.
Not too bad.
We always drop like at least a quarter of our viewers when we get to sandwiches. I don't know why.
But it's funny. There's so many people that really like Sandwich Saturday too. So
I
yeah.
know. All right. So there we go. Another show in the books. It was great. Like I said, the guys that stayed behind in this show was great actually because of you guys. Like the chat was absolutely on fire tonight. And I appreciate all your comments. Your comments allow us to expand and go into different directions. And then we like hearing everybody's opinion, not just our own. So
Right.
I mean, we all have different opinions, but it's good to hear like people like Ronan and whoever else like has to say. I like Rap Wednesday. You have your YouTube channel, Jason. Do it.
Congrats, Julie.
Tough but fair says. Okay, I like Steak Saturday. I did Fried Chicken Friday last week, and I had like 100 likes on that chicken. Like, there you go. All right, we will talk to everybody. We still need to do a Groken stream, another one, but we need to do that. So maybe we'll do that next week. I don't know. It depends on what I got to get with you guys and see what your schedule's like. Maybe we can ask Kenneth to come on again. And we'll do a Groken. We'll actually like promote it this time, Amanda. That should make you happy.
Hey, well, I don't promote it as much as you do, but I do like the book, and I do like.
No, I meant promote the stream, not the book.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, because you always get mad because I don't promote. So if we get Kenneth on here, and then when we talk about, we'll do Groken sign up, and we'll call it the pre-launch Groken campaign. So, all right, we will talk to everybody next week, at least Saturday. Thank you for joining us.
Good night. Don't forget